The last short we covered the basic mechanics of auto attacking and practicing autos. So for part 2, we're going to cover auto attack resets, critical strikes, and champions that have unique auto attack features. First up is auto attack resets. Some abilities in League of Legends like Garen Q for melee champions and Smolder Q for ranged champions are abilities that count as auto attacks. For example, when Garen uses his Q, the next auto attack will deal more damage in silence. However, because this counts towards his quote next auto attack end quote, you can animation cancel and go auto Q, which will optimize damage output and speed of ability execution. Similarly with Smolder, while his Q requires you to mouse over and target an enemy unit, you can apply the same mechanic here, but for ranged champions. So when the initial projectile of his first auto attack is fired, you can immediately press Q and go auto Q, just like Garen. Now for critical strikes. Did you know that there are actually two types of damaging auto attacks? A normal auto attack deals the amount of damage you have as AD. A critical strike, however, will deal 175% of that AD value. So if you have 100 AD, an auto attack will deal 100 physical damage, while a crit will deal 175 physical damage. And to be able to crit, you must build critical strike chance. Furthermore, crits have separate animations. In Garen's case, here are the different wind-up animations, and for range, here's the difference for Draven. Also, auto attack resets like Garen Q can crit. Now, how do crits work below 100% crit chance? Well, let's say you have 50% crit chance, and for 5 auto attacks in a row, you do not crit. While the actual formula is not available, your crit chance will invisibly increase until you crit. Now, let's say that number increases to 75% and you hit a crit. It will then decrease a few percentage points and then decrease again if another critical strike is hit. So unless you have 100% crit chance, hitting this type of auto attack is an up and down probability game. And finally, let's talk about champions with unique auto attack features. Set is a champion that gets 2 autos for the price of 1. And since his Q is an auto attack reset, he can go auto, then press Q for 2 more autos. Furthermore, Titanic Hydra as an item is an auto attack reset. So for Set, you can go auto, QQ, Titanic auto. Certain champions have abilities that aren't actual autos, but apply, quote, on hit effects, end quote, from items like Wit's End. A melee example of this would be Yasuo Q, and a ranged example would be Ezreal Q. And finally, items like Blade of the Ruined King that change damage depending on whether you are melee or ranged will change for shapeshifters. Looking at Jace, you can see in melee, he gains the higher on-hit percentage, and for range, he gains the lower on-hit percentage. If you like this and want to see more tips, guides, and game experiments, subscribe for more.